Hey, this is Chris Bailey from Infernal Majesty, and you're listening to DJ Will on KNAC.com.
KNEC.com, theloudest.com on the planet. Enter the world of the undead. Again, Pure Rockers, that is the latest from Thrasher's Infernal Majesty. You've been hearing that for the last several weeks. Pure Rockers, this is a band that I came across way back in 1987 from their debut, None Shall Defy, on Roadrunner. Please welcome to the show lead singer Christopher Bailey. Christopher, how the hell you doing from Canada?
Well, we're doing pretty good up here. Spring's finally in the air, and we're liking that and breaking free of winter's grip.
Well, on the heels of the forthcoming album, I would imagine once the change of the seasons gives way, you got a new album out after all this time. So, without getting into complete what you've been doing since None Shall Defy, what led to you coming back to Infernal Majesty?
Well, basically, sitting in my hometown here after we departed our ways after one who points to death there. Things kind of ground to a halt. You have that restless urge inside that, just keeps gnawing away, those creative urges. It's something that's always been a part of your life. I was working with some buddies of mine down in Port Hope in the Coburg area here on another project called Anthropophagy. And while doing that, just out of the blue one day, watching the Infernal saga unfold, the Demon God demo came out, and like most people, thought that shortly thereafter there'd be a full-length album and whatnot. As kind of months turned to years, like I say, and I finally kind of picked up the phone, gave Tara a call just to see what the hell was going on. We started talking, getting a few things, straightened out from, our past encounters, and one thing led to another, and we decided, well, this is what we've got going with the Demon God songs. Let's have another look at them, and let's write a full-length album. That's what we did, and that's basically the beginning of what led me to head back out to Vancouver so we could start writing this album.
And for the record, for Pure Rockers that don't know, Demon God was the EP that was released back in 2007, correct?
That's correct, with Ryan Langley from Aggression and Tyrant's Blood on vocals, and it was a really solid release, just amazing vocals too on it and whatnot. So, like I say, and everybody was watching to expect shortly thereafter to be the full-length album. So, for one reason or another, though, things ground to a halt, and like I was saying, years started going by, and we got back together and started writing this album. We had originally intended it coming out last year in 2016. Mm-hmm. When we got together to start writing this album, we thought, well, you know what, we're going to do this all ourselves. It's going to have, pretty much a 100% Infernal Majesty fingerprint on this album. We're going to record it ourselves. We're going to mix it ourselves. We're going to produce it ourselves. Pretty much everything but the artwork we're going to do ourselves, or at least attempt. We achieved 90% of our goal. Like I was saying, we intended the album to come out in 2016. The mixing turned out to be a much more monumental task than we had originally anticipated. We put a lot of effort into it. We did a lot of cramming, getting up to speed with, all the ins and outs of mixing and whatnot, because we'd never mixed an album before. Mm-hmm. So at any rate, though, as close as we came with Steve at the helm, it just wasn't there. So eventually we had to call in the mixing skills of Chris Holmes, to pick up where Steve had left off, and he was really able to capture the atmosphere that we were looking for, the big, large sound that we were just not quite capturing with our own original mix. So that, in some ways, though, was a good thing, because 2017 is our anniversary year. So, and also, too, giving us some time to hook up with High Roller Records was also an important key in our journey forward here. So it actually all kind of worked out better, even though it was a little longer than we anticipated. We had a lot to do to get the foundation built to get Infernal Majesty shooting off into the future. I think 2017 was probably the best year to have it coming out this April, yeah.
Yeah, and coupled with the fact that it will be the 30th anniversary of, None Shall Defy, so very fitting. Now, to double back what you had mentioned regarding the mixing of No God, are we talking the same Chris Holmes, or this is someone else that just shares that same name with Guitarist and Wasp?
I'm not sure. This is Chris Hollywood Holmes from British Columbia, Canada.
Okay. I mean, now, while I initially saw that, I said, well, I don't possibly think it could be because he doesn't have that nickname, but he did live in Hollywood. I said, I don't see the correlation. So I said, you know what? If it gets brought up, I'm going to ask, because Chris is happily married in Europe somewhere, and I'm thinking, how the hell would he have time to record this thrash band I remember from 30 years ago, and he's doing his other thing. So thank you for clearing that up.
No problem, Bob. It definitely sounds like there's some similarities, because Chris is, to the best of my recollection anyways, I don't think my information's wrong on this, happily married, living in British Columbia too. So that's good. The Chris's are happy.
All right. Very good. Pure Rockers, I'm speaking with Chris Bailey from Infernal Majesty. Again, a new album coming out April 14th called No God. So all the different labels and assorted lineups, were you part of any other projects, any other bands during that period of inactivity for yourself?
Yeah, like I was mentioning, well, initially, Infernal Majesty is the only band I've ever sang with. I was just still in high school when I joined the band. But while I had some time off after One Who Points to Death there, sitting down here in Port Hope with my old high school friends, they had some stuff they were messing around with that they were letting me listen to, and I was thinking, geez, guys, this is really, really good stuff. So in a lot of ways, it kept my vocals active for the time that I was down while we were putting this project together. It actually just came out a couple weeks ago digitally. It's called Luciform. And like I said, all the boys are really stoked about this. It's the first time I've really been in another project outside of Infernal Majesty, so even that in itself has been a bit of a learning curve for me too. It's definitely added a lot more to my plate, but I would definitely recommend anybody go check us out on Bandcamp.
All right, so Luciform is the name of it. Okay,
Luciform, that's right. Yes, indeed, Luciform, and like I say, we really had a lot of fun with that.
Cool. How much touring, if any, did Infernal Majesty do back in the day? Because that's one thing that I don't recall there was a lot of. I would imagine that there possibly could have been interest from, let's say, a lot of the metal festivals in Europe. But Chris, from what you can recollect, I know we're going back 30 years, but as far as the live performances regarding Infernal Majesty, was there much touring?
Not near as much as we would like, that's for sure. For example, we never toured the States. We've only ever played Detroit in the States at Blondie's. Okay. So that's one thing that we're really focused on. We're trying to actually get into booking our own shows, so that we have access to more of just that, more touring and stuff like that. But no, that's been one of our highest priorities, to get this part of the game figured out. Because, like I say, we haven't did near as much touring as we'd like. We did 2 European tours, one with Malevolent Creation, the other one with Cannibal Corpse. And they were just, great success. At the time, we had a lot of momentum going. They were back-to-back tours in 97 and 98. Then we decided that we were going to relocate the band from Toronto to Vancouver after the 98 tour. Looking back now, though, that might have been a little bit rushed. We probably should have just waited maybe another year or two before we decided to make the move, because that created a lot of stress in the band. We had to, again, replace a drummer when we relocated to Vancouver, and that set us back a lot longer than we had originally anticipated. Finding good, reliable drummers has been one of our long-term curses, to tell you the truth. That's been one of the key factors why there has been so much downtime between albums. Anybody that's been living in the Vancouver area would know that we've never really disappeared between albums. We always pop up doing shows and stuff like that. And even when we were down, or even when I was out of the band, when Brian Langley was at the helm, we were still doing shows in the Vancouver area periodically and stuff like that with Nile and whatnot. But
Okay. Yeah, I was always curious about that, but yeah, just unfortunately with having the whole Spinal Tap drummer scenario, you're not alone in that area.
Yeah.
So
classic, Classic, yeah.
Have you over the years, have you come across, have you formed any friendship with any other bands from Canada to do any type of packaged things, like guys in Exciter, Pile Driver, Sacrifice, Cataclysm? Have you crossed paths to sort of?
No, we've never had that opportunity unfold in front of us.
Wow.
And it's something that should happen. Because and like for me growing up, Exciter, Pile Driver, these were all bands that were an inspiration to me. Sacrifice, Razor.
Oh yeah.
of course, I'm actually in the Evil Invaders video. I'm one of the guys moshing around in the pit.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah. I was down there waiting for the show, and I was down there early, like at 2:00 in the afternoon, at Larry's Hideaway. Hanging around with everybody else, waiting to get in with my fake ID and whatnot.
Right on.
And next thing you know, the doors open up. Say, hey, does anybody want to be in a video? So, hell yeah, a bunch of us long hairs pile in there, and we lit her up in front of the stage while they were doing the video, yeah.
There you go. Oh, hell, well, guess what, Pure Rockers? Fire up on YouTube, look up Razor Evil Invaders, and you can see a very young Christopher Bailey thrashing it up on the floor.
Now, you're probably only going to see just a black mass of hair flying around.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not going to see my face stuck in the camera or anything. I'm just part of the melee in the
okay.
pit, yeah.
All right. Reason to ask you a question about the other Canadian metal bands is whether or not they share, let's say, the same philosophy, when it comes to writing music or lyrics or direction and focus. I liken it to how there's different scenes in different towns. Obviously, European metal is always there. There's a Northwest, there's a South, there's there's East, there's West Coast. But particularly with Canada, with all the rock and metal bands that have come out over the years, I focus on the metal, the extreme bands that are actually still viable, that are still recording, that are still doing something here and there. And like the bands I mentioned, Infernal Majesty was one of them 30 years ago. And I always thought that if someone would put together like a big Canadian metal splash package, would be great. When it comes to the band and the lineup and stuff, has there been any type of management to sort of guide you?
This has definitely been probably one of the, along with drummer issues and other little things that go with the fragileness of bands. I've often said they're as fragile as an eggshell in a lot of ways. Management issues. Now, we've had some unfortunate circumstances with management in the past. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things that bands have to really, it can make or break your path forward in a lot of ways, depending on who it is that you're tying your wagon to, so to speak. Mm-hmm. We again, like I say, it's really one of those things where if you get good management, then they're really going to excel your career. If you get bad management, you can end up showing up at places where you're going, why are we going down into this basement and there's like cat litter boxes on the floor? Like, right. We're not playing here. This is craziness. What the hell's going on here? This is a guy's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a video game machine or a video game console and a television and a couch. Yeah. Like, something's not right here. So we've had unfortunate circumstances in the past. Another one where our manager ended up having to, he got in some extreme trouble with the law and whatnot. And, that was the end of his career as a manager. That's a story that will be in the book when I eventually get it completed.
Yeah.
So management is something that we could definitely, use as long as it's good management. Yeah,
and it's someone that is going to have the band's interests at heart. And if they
and knows the right people and the right contacts and that sort of thing, is able to relate to, the kind of music that we create and where that should plant itself,
Well, this is just interesting, just fascinating. It's something to inquire about. Outside of the song I've been playing for the last several weeks, you did a video for a song that's not on No God. Tell me about House of War.
House of War won't appear on the vinyl edition, but it will be on the CD version and the digital download version, or the digipack version and the download version. The reason why it's not is just that apparently there just wasn't enough space on the album when we were writing No God. Like we wrote, it's over an hour long. We just weren't thinking about things like that. We were just writing songs and. We weren't concerned about, making a song this length for radio play or this length for this or anything else. We were just writing songs and the way they turned out. But that's the only reason why it's not on the vinyl edition. Okay. And either is the instrumental to Nation of Assassins, the follow-up instrumental, which is called False Flag. It's not on it either, unfortunately, for time issues. But again, it will be on the DE and the digital download version. House of War, in its purest sense, really is an anti-war song. No God, we did expand our song subjects a little bit with this album. There's some of our political viewpoints added into the songs, and of course an underlying anti-religious message runs throughout the entire album.
Has your focus, your writing of what subject matter included, has that changed much as far as what compels you to put pen to paper?
Well, starting with our actual approach, we kind of went back to the way, our older style of writing. In some ways, we wanted to bring in elements of our, past style of writing that weren't maybe as obvious in the last two albums. As far as like the lyrics and the context, this is basically what inspired us to come up with the subject matters that we come up with, or how they relate to what could be going on today, lessons that need to be learned from past historical events and whatnot. The state of humankind right now as it is what really inspired the title, No God, with all the death and destruction that we see going on around us. Yeah. It just seems so relevant. It just seems so obvious that, not above and beyond the reality of science, but just the actual daily observation of what we see every day. Religious extremism becoming more rampant, even though the numbers are dwindling, as a whole. If there was a God, it would be one of the most evil gods, not reach out an arm to help someone drowning,
Right.
So there's just a real lack of I think, rational comprehension going on, and I think in today's world, we need that clear focus, and I think religion right now is clouding our ability for that focus.
Yeah, indeed, and I would imagine that you'll have plenty to write about, because it.
We do.
It's not going away, and it's. Yeah. So
the massive amount of hypocrisy that goes on, and I just don't think that you need religion as your moral guidance. I just think that should come within. You're your own God as far as we're concerned.
Right on. Good, strong words. There you go. Your rockers, Christopher Bailey, Infernal Majesty, again coming out April 14th. No God, the latest from the band, and again this will be the 30th anniversary of Infernal Majesty. Once the album's officially out, do you plan on having the ability to get out there to do some dates?
It is. It's and this is where one of the things. This is one of our strongest points is our live performance. This is when we really shine. So it is one of our highest priorities. Because we've been, out of commission for a while, and we're just getting the ball rolling now. We spent a lot of time getting a lot of things put together to keep the Infernal Majesty camp alive for the next few years. Like I said, we're trying to get out of booking our own shows, to get with a booking agency that's solid, possibly looking at management opportunities and whatnot. Just that, we want to keep momentum going forward. So these are the other things. We still have, a lot of hurdles to overcome, but
sure.
Right now we're on the right path, yeah. And we're, getting good reviews with the album and whatnot. So we're not wasting any time. We got a lot on the go at the same time here. We're also well into the follow-up to No God as far as the writing of it. We basically, we've got the entire album roughed out, and now we're at the point now where we're, working with Kyle on the drums right now. We're 5 songs into the drum composition of the next album.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it won't be another 13 years in between.
No. We've even got a tentative title already. We'll be happy to announce right now for the first time. This is the newest official title. It will be called The Atrocities of Man.
The Atrocities of Man. Okay. Again, Christopher Bailey, Infernal Majesty, No God, out April 14th. And how can fans reach it? Facebook, all social media stuff. Is there a particular Infernal Majesty page they can go to?
Absolutely. We just recently took down our official website just because it's under reconstruction right at the moment, but it'll be back up shortly. But officially, for the most up-to-date info, come see us on Facebook. We're on Twitter, of course, YouTube, and Instagram as well. But, that's where we basically are usually engaging regularly all day is on our Facebook page.
Excellent. Chris, in closing, I would like to have you select another track from No God to close out with.
Well, I'm going to have to say say right now, just, you never know what mood I'm in, but the mood I'm in right now, I'd just like to hear Signs of Evil.
Signs of Evil it is. All right, P-Rockers, another track from No God, again, coming out April 14th. You're listening to theloudest.com and the planet, KNAC.com.